afternoon, everyone. My name is Harry. This is my partner, Diane Wang. We are the co-hosts for the event today. Thank you for joining us today here at McNally Jackson Bookstore. This is our second stop of Diane Wang's Inner Mountain tour. Last week, we had a truly inspiring and intimate event at an independent store in LA, and we want to bring the same energy to New York here. First of all, congratulations to New York with Liberty's first ever WNBA championship. Big victory still fresh in our minds. We are reminded of the grit, teamwork, and girl power that resonates, we think, so perfectly with Inner Mountain. The idea of finding inner strength and empowering each other. Today's event is not about only the release of the book. It's about creating a space for reflection, connection, and growth. Diane will be sharing her personal journey with all of you, and we encourage everyone here to join us. This is not a formal Q&A session, but we want it to be an intimate discussion where we can all share our stories, experiences, and insights. Before we start, we would like to also share with everyone a short video about the Inner Mountain. Let's have a look together.
I thought life was like climbing mountains, filled with uncertainties. The first mountain for most of us is like the drive for success, focusing on reaching the summit of professional and worldly success. I felt that drive. I climbed that mountain. If we pursue only the first mountain, there will be no peace but fight in an endless game. Ultimately, I know that we can't rely on anything outside. We must rely on our inner strength. The Inner Mountain describes both the internal challenge women face and the internal journey toward self-affirmation. Think about that. When you're driving through a storm and see the rain falling on the windshield, you can look at the rain two ways. You might easily find the rain annoying, slowing down traffic, getting you wet. However, in another way, you can enjoy the scent of the falling rain, and the sound of it can bring a peaceful feeling to your soul. Every one of us has a way to connect with our higher self. Everyone can find their own way if you believe in the magic and the power of talking to your own heart. Once you are successful, you bring others along. That's why I wrote my book. That's why I built this community. Because I want to tell you, there is another way to discover your inner mountain. Join us in our journey inwards. We believe there is an equally important, often uncharted territory to explore, our inner selves. The Inner Mountain Foundation aims to foster and empower communities of women all across the world, giving them a place to globally connect, share, and thrive. We are here to support every woman's ambition, to help her lean into her strengths and to find solutions deep within her spirit. Because together, as a community, we can make the external world resonate with our internal harmonies. Because in seeing yourself, you are also able to enlighten others. And that is a sustainable way forward for our fragile and beautiful world.
Well, you already enjoyed. So now I'm excited to introduce this incredible woman behind this movement. Please welcome Diane.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone.
I'm incredibly grateful to have you here today to celebrate the launch of the Inner Mountain Foundation and Inner Mountain, this book. Actually, this is my first book, and sharing it with you so far from home feels humbling and extraordinary. Thank you for coming, where strangers feel like friends and stories connect us in unexpected ways. I don't see the Inner Mountain as just a book. Actually, I think it's an invitation to pause, reflect, and journey inward. My hope is that it will inspire your own stories to emerge and helping us find the inner strength we all carry, yet often overlook. You may ask, why the name The Inner Mountain? I believe we all face two mountains. The first one is about external success, wealth, recognition, status. But once we reach the top, the satisfaction can be fleeting. The second mountain is internal. It's about self-discovery, facing fears, and embracing our true selves. The inner mountain is about that second journey, moving beyond external achievements to find real fulfillment and our inner peace. Many of you know me as an entrepreneur. My journey from Microsoft and Cisco, and I founded Joyo.com, which later became Amazon China, to DHgate, one of the largest cross-border e-commerce platform. But after 20 years of scaling external peaks, I realized the greatest mountains were within me. What holds so many us back are not external obstacles, but internal ones: self-doubt, perfectionism, and the fear of not being enough. And also, I realized that was not just my personal journey, but a collective one. So that's why I founded Inner Mountain Community. I wanted to create a space where we could come together to support and nurture each other, to overcome the fears and doubts that hold us back. The journey of self-exploration is personal, but it's even more powerful when we share it. As a community, we can rise together, generating more energy and strength than any one of us could alone. Looking to the future, I believe we're stepping into a new era. The next 20 years, I hope, will bring up the rising feminine qualities like intuition, empathy, and collaboration. When these forces are in harmony, we create lasting change. This balanced energy, the power from within, will guide us toward a more unified and sustainable world and future. I think even a small group can create a ripple effect, lifting those around us and making the world a more connected and compassionate place. So as you turn the page of Inner Mountain, I hope you feel it not just a book, but as an invitation to join this community and embark on your own journey. Let's climb side by side and see where this path takes us. Together, we can go further than we ever imagined. Again, thank you for being here and starting this journey together with us. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing a powerful story and your vision. And now we would love to open the floor up to have some more interaction together. As Diane mentioned earlier, the real magic happens when we all share our stories. So we would love to hear from you. We'd love to hear your thoughts, your experiences, and your own journeys up these mountains.
Or the core concept we wanted to talk about in this book. I think listen to your heart is like to really, listen to the inner voice. Truly listen to the inner voice. I found that inner voice that's the most close to the truth of yourself. Especially those critical moments in my life, including personal life or professional life. If I can listen to my heart, I have no struggle at all. Sometimes people ask me, how can you tell is the voice from your heart or from your brain? I think the difference is, if the voice comes from your heart, that voice is so short, so simple, and when you hear it, you don't have doubt. You just know it. It is. But once it's come from your mind, it's a logic. You have to calculate it. It's pretty complicated. It's still struggle, right? So that's the difference, I think, from brain or from your heart. So in my whole life, as I mentioned, no matter in the personal life or the professional life, whenever I connect with my heart, I listen to that voice, I tend to make the right choice, the right decision. And I can be persistent. I can be, full of energy, no matter what kind of tough times I will face. Yeah, especially I have a two entrepreneur journey. I have two startups. So I have a lot of tough time during that period of time. But maybe after and you have more questions I can share. Yeah, more about that.
Well, I was going to ask you if you could share an example of a moment when things were hard and you listened to your heart and somehow it guided you through.
Yeah, maybe I can share my second startup, right? My first one is at the end of 1999, which I founded one of the first B2C platform in China. And it was acquired by Amazon in 2004. And after that, I started to think about what's next. I really want to find something that like my eye shining. So, but I didn't stop there, stay at home to think about that. So my philosophy is take action, do something, and gradually, like the new things emerge. I think after a few months, there's three key words emerge. The first one is internet, because I was in that industry. So I see that booming, I see that opportunity. So that's the first one. And the second one, international. My first startup focused on domestic market. So I wanted to do something differently. So this time I want to look at the global market. And the third one is I'm really passionate about to enable micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises. So if they can enabled by the digital technology or the internet, that they can lower the entry barrier for them to build their business. So just with these three key words, and nowadays I realize those key words, the background is full of energy. that's shining keywords, with energy keywords. And with those keywords, I can see a picture. So DH gate, actually DH represents Dunhuang. Dunhuang is the ancient hub for Silk Road, Asian Silk Road. Actually, it's the hub for the traditional trade that go to everywhere in the world. So 20 years ago, I was thinking about what if I can build an online Silk Road that people can easily trade online without camel, without desert, and we can exchange ideas. We can learn from each other about cultures. That's kind of harmony situation. And then with that picture, I can interpret that into business model. So DHK around that time was also the first mover in the industry. So we from zero to build everything from nothing, from scratch. So for quite a long time, I think maybe it's my daydreamer, right? It's nothing can happen in the real world. So sometimes I cannot sleep overnight, yeah, because if that can become real or not. But because your passion, because that's your heart, you can be persistent. So I even think about to sell house or car to support the next month's operation cost. I still wanted to move forward, still want to move. So that's the power of something really comes from your heart. Yeah, so that's a story about my startup business.
Fantastic. Thank you, Diane. That's very inspiring. Thank you. Now we're a beautiful room of people full of stories, and I'm wondering, is there anybody who's had a similar experience where you listened to your heart or you listened inside and made a big decision, and if you would be willing to share?
Hello. Okay, here we go.
Okay, there we go.
Hi, everybody. My name is Lyris Cross. I'm a pioneer in the plus modeling industry, and I'm also an actress as well as I'm an author as well. And I tell you, when they say pressure makes diamonds, it's really, really true. So I was working for a client and they ended up filing for bankruptcy, and this was my main client, so they owed me thousands and thousands of dollars. Bills come in, what am I going to do? And I remember I always had this idea to teach different modeling courses to help models who wanted to get into the business. But I felt like, I don't know, if I charge people to do it, they're not going to come, I don't know. But now my back was against the wall. So I said, you know what, I remember I got this one little room. Like, if I could just get 7 people there, this will be amazing. I put out the flyer to get my 7 people. I ended up getting 45 women who came from all across the country to come to my very first model boot camp. And that birthed my model boot camp business called Life of a Working Model Boot Camp.
Wow.
And that just shows you sometimes when we're put in hot water, it pushes us to kind of step outside of our comfort zones and to go do a thing. And so right now you're doing a thing by creating your book and your community. And a lot of things can be scary for us because we think, is anybody going to support it? Is anybody going to really interested in it? Just go for it. Just do it. You'll never know unless you try. So that was one of my things that I had to literally, my back was against the wall. And now, I think, what is this? I think this is our 8-year anniversary, I think, for my business. So.
Oh. Yeah. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Yeah. Actually, I also shared what you're talking about. If we jump in, briefly jump in, and normally I think the result is not that ugly. Actually, we found we can achieve that, and just through that, the action accumulation, we can also build up our confidence along the way. Yeah, and you also remind me. Sometimes I think, or not sometimes, always, the obstacles or challenges or the uncomfortable mood actually is a gift. It's opportunity. Yeah, the gift of life. So that can, for my experience, that helped me to explore something behind that. Maybe there's some belief, that's the limitation. So for example, just like this book, actually it's myself break my own limitation. My After I found that, I take action. Because my family education is like, don't talk, just do things. That's the Eastern, especially for Eastern world, the traditional family, their education for girl. Yeah. So I remember along the way, I'm a person I dare to think big, and I dare to do. But I seldom speak. In the past, I think that maybe that's the right thing to do. But once I realized, actually, that's the limitation for many women. They tend to be quiet, right? They think maybe I'm not good enough. So once I realized that's the limitation, especially for my next calling, I would like to build a community, right? To let more stories from women, their voice to be heard. Yeah. Then somebody need to stand up. So that's why I wanted to break my limitation. I think because that calling, because you have something you're really passionate about, that gives you the energy to move things forward. Yeah. Thank you for your sharing. Yeah, please.
So I know a lot of things as far as women, as we start to get older in age, more fear starts to set in as far as what we're capable of doing, if our voice is even valid. So, what words of encouragement could you maybe give to women? Because we have like a broad spectrum of ages of women here. But the thing is, it's a gift to get older. My birthday was yesterday, so it's a gift to like mature in this world. And but sometimes because of how we've been socialized for so long, we think like, oh well, I'm getting older. I'm not important anymore. My voice doesn't matter. So I was just wondering, what encouragement do you have from that realm?
Actually, that's a beautiful question. because that question, because that inner voice, I started to find the inner mountain. I started to find the journey. I started to find this whole new road. So originally, I only think maybe the whole world is just like the first mountain. It's just like the success, the wealth, the family, the status, the fame, etc. So in the past 20 years or more than 20 years, I'm scaling up that piece. But once you achieve your objectives again and again, you realize that's not sustainable success. So, and as you mentioned, and you're getting older, I think in the past I can have 30 meetings, 40 meetings a day, back and to back, and full of energy. But gradually, I don't think that my energy can support that. So there's some fear maybe in my heart. Sometimes I don't realize that, but I can feel that fear. So because that fear, I have that, I start to ask, what is the sustainable success? What do you really want to look for in the future, in the rest of my life? So with this inner world journey, I gradually found the truth of myself. So I think the sustainable way for the satisfaction is simple. So ours. And because I come to the truth of myself closer and closer, I started to find that inner peace. Something strong, endless energy within yourself. I want to see everybody of us. We can find that truth. We can find that energy that within our body. Just if you find it or not. So with that finding, I realized it's a whole new world. And I think maybe the rest of my life could be even, interesting, exciting than my previous life. Yeah. So that's why I invite that people can join this self-exploration journey, no matter age. I think because the material world and the spiritual world can be balanced developed. If you only focus on one side, that cannot be sustainable. That cannot be beautiful. So let me stop here.
Thank you, Diane. And thank you so much for your contribution. Is there anybody else who'd like to share about their experience listening to their inner heart, inner selves?
So my name is Barrington Roberts, and I work in hospitality. And I am tired of working long hours, so I decided that I would like to train other agents around New York City boutique hotels, and I chose to do that today. And now here I am. And I'm following my inner mountain heart, and I'm listening to what I need to do. So thank you for this amazing community that you just built. And my question to you is, what sparks you to not give up? Because clearly I'm like working and I still am working, but here I am taking that step of leap of faith and whatever that makes.
Yeah. Can you help me to clarify that question? Because a little bit far away.
So basically what I was saying was what sparks you not to give up because you came so far.
Okay.
So I'm sure there's a way where you were like, I don't want to do this anymore, but I'm going to have to do it. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that reminds me to think about a lot of people once ask me, especially when we almost, enter into a the age of survive. Means literally we're going to bankrupt if I think about give up. To be honest, no matter what kind of situations in my company, I never think about give up. I think maybe that's the things come from your heart because you really love the things and you have that confidence. Just like people ask me, how do you think about that, the picture, the business model? Sometimes I said, I just know. I just can access that knowing. I couldn't tell you because I have no map. I have no map, but I know that direction is right. So I just take action. Okay. So recently I started to study what that knowing means. So maybe Victoria or Anna can help us to elaborate. that knowing or access. I think basically maybe that's the access to the source or the truth. So sometimes you cannot use the brain to put it logically. Oh, you have the map, you have here, and you just know it. So that means human beings, we have big potential. We haven't tapped yet. We only use maybe 5% of our potential. We use our brain too much. But if we can combine the capability to connect with our heart, to connect with our body, I think that we can leverage a lot of potential of a human being. I think that's really important in the next 20 years. As I mentioned, in the past, I think that's majority focus on material world. And the situation or the tension, the war or the climate issues we see now, that's unsustainable. So I think that's the timing for the next 20 years, especially I think women with the intuition, with the empathy, with the collaboration, supporting, nurturing, this kind of qualities will play very important role in the future. Yeah. So maybe Anna, you have something to share?
Well, I wanted to, I really appreciate your vision. And one thing you've said to me before that struck me as very right is that it's not just about women, it's about the balance of feminine and masculine energies. So the balance of what is active and what is receptive. And we have both of those energies in all of us. So this is an invitation for men and women and people, all human beings, to understand that there's a balance that we're seeking, that then we resonate out to the world, the earth receives, and we start to create in a different way. And I remember you saying that, and that really made me feel like, yes, that's right. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Anna. Yeah. Maybe Victoria also wants to share something.
I was thinking about your question about how do you persevere and how do you keep with something. Is this on? Or I can just speak.
Yes,
Yes, it's on. It's on. Okay.
We'll have feedback. Could you?
Okay. I won't use it. It's okay because I'm too close here. I think one of the things that really came to me was to be persevere to what's in your heart, but be flexible on form. So I think so often we go with an idea and then we get really rigid. It must look like this on the outside. And actually we lose touch with our hearts because we stop following our intuition. And instead we follow an external mental model of how something has to look. And if I listen to you, you're constantly going back to your heart and saying, what about this is actually at the core of what I'm holding on to? And sometimes what do I need to continue to shed or let go of so that my dream can stay alive and can become, a reality in the world? Because what might work at this time at another time won't work. But I think that that's something that I've really learned and really take as well from you is this isn't I've figured it out, I get in touch with my heart and then I'm done. This is an ongoing practice of how do we kind of really come close to ourselves and then go out into the world and come back because we're in these feedback loops on and on again. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I don't know if that answers your question, but in my experience of all of this, when I've gotten myself stuck and when I found myself lose myself, it's always because my head took over and my drive to just will something to being doesn't actually work. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for sharing.
That has happened to me as well. So is there any other?
Yes.
So I'm going to start with sharing a little bit personal experience as well. For the past 8 weeks, or say 2 months or so, me and my team, we were working on your Fashion Week show production, and some of my friends know about it. And it was really big production, and we did it at Chupani, and then for the staffers alone, we had over 160 people. So it was really, really big, and it was really intense. And then for almost 2 months, I didn't get a sleep that like more than 5 hours sleep every night. So that lasted for almost 10 weeks, and then I felt okay. I know that I'm someone who has some sort of inner strength, but not enough, definitely. So sometimes I just feel it's a little bit hard to continue to power through, and I just feel it's not sustainable to work like 12, 14 hours a day for a really long time. I can power through for like a couple weeks, a few weeks, that's fine, but how do you battle that when you just have to work that much?
I still remember when I joined the our workplace in the early time. I worked for Microsoft. Actually, I was one of the 6 employees in China. I had that moment. I cannot sleep. But nowadays, when I look back, yeah, I think that's the experience. That's the experience. Once we have a lot more this kind of exercises, and our heart, our capability can afford, more complexity or tough jobs. That's several years ago. I'm think about that. But right now, I found that the community can play a role in this kind of situation. So, for example, in China, in the Inner Mountain Foundation community, we also have this kind of circle. We share our stories. So originally, I think, maybe only me experiences this toughest situation. But once we share, we found everybody. We have that downtime, we have that, frustration or even crisis in our life. So after we have this kind of sharing, on one hand, we know we are not alone. So that's release. We are not alone. And secondly, we heard about somebody, how they overcome that challenge. And we learn from that. We get inspiration. So that's why in the very beginning, I talk about if one person, it's really hard for us maybe to move with full energy for a quite long journey. But with a group of people, we can support each other, we can remind each other, we can nurture each other to move forward. So for example, last week in LA, when we have this circle, somebody mentioned they really like to have this meditation. Okay, that's one way to keep your stillness, to have a good awareness about yourself, right? But it's really hard to consistently practice this meditation. So from our experience, but we have a group. We remind each other. we have a group to take the card, okay? And I think that's the community energy. That with a group of people, we can go further, we can go longer, we can support each other. Yeah. So maybe talking about community, maybe Harry can share with us some of the existing practice in our community. Okay.
In New York? We have
Actually,
a circle of sharing in New York.
Actually, we start from in the mountain community. We start from China and US. So we're going to have the online community, online curriculum, and we have also some offline, face-to-face community as well. So we start maybe from LA and San Francisco, and then New York. So maybe Harry can introduce a little bit about our current programs.
Thank you, Diane. Yes, to your question, I think we officially launched in LA, in San Francisco, just a few months this last June. And we also have members coming from different cities in the US or the other countries. So we just built our online community on Circle platform like 2 months ago. Now we have I think 300 to 400 members from China, from the States, from the other countries. And it's a very interactive platform that we share different multimedia files, videos, podcasts, and also TED Talks. And in the meantime, I think we are we are creating and sharing more free reflection exercise. It's self-paced, so we welcome everybody to join. And we are working and partnering with different institutes, and we hope to offer more exercise and maybe more curriculum programs in the coming months that designed for more in-depth learning. And I think international is one of the quality for the Indian Mountain. So not only in the States, but in the same time in China, we I think we run quite successfully a series of after work workshop events called Inner Space in Beijing, in Shenzhen, in Wuzhen. For I think we run more than 10 sessions now in the last couple of months. And people come and to support and talk to each other. We have different subjects that even it's a whole new thing to them. Even you're a beginner, it's fine. We want people come to recharge. So it's quite impressive that, like Diane shared, I mean, we see a lot of change in their eyes. I mean, even they just joined 1 or 2 or 3 sessions. And also we have like a more in-depth, like 3 to 4 months program called Women Go Global. It's now entering phase 3. We worked with I think hundreds of different female entrepreneurs. Across different cities in China, joining us. So it's pretty impressive. And we run regular virtual meetup via Zoom, so we can bridge both U.S. members and Chinese members. So we can share. It's not only networking, but we really share like the business opportunities, your challenges, your aspirations, and we can exchange insights. It's quite a fun stuff, and we will keep running it. In every month or 2. So that's it. Welcome.
Yeah, actually, we had a member, Women Go Global. Linda here. Yeah, she just arrived this morning. Yeah, fly from Hong Kong to New York. Yeah, she's a member of our Women Go Global in the mountain community. So last month we also have a visit to her company. Yeah, it's we did a so-called inner interview, right? To different levels of Linda's company, including VP, including middle managers, employees, stakeholders. Yeah, that's a totally new way, right? So we don't want to also the transformation on self. We see the opportunity transformation on business, and eventually, if we get there, we also wanted to bring others along. Okay, and definitely we wanted to make our world a better place. So we see that journey moving forward. Yeah. So with more people on this journey, we can expect that we can have a more sustainable way in our planet.
Welcome very much. Welcome. Thank you very much.
Linda.
Yeah, please.
Linda, do you want to say something? Or okay, Linda. Just arrived this morning.
I just arrived in New York this morning after 16 hours. 16 hours.
I come here just for Diane. Actually, I should come here next week, but I heard my voice part. I need to go. So I adjust my schedule and come here. I joined in a mountain communication 3 months ago. I feel my became the better path, better opportunity. How to say? More
Better self?
Yeah, more strong. Yeah, and so 1 month ago, I invited the Intermountain visit our company. Yeah, and I feel them almost the girls or employee get learn something. So I enjoy this community and the woman help woman and I enjoy the international all ladies together learn and help and sharing because my job is the international logistics. I always traveling to Europe, USA, and I learn mainly from the beautiful lady and the intelligent lady. So I hope we are a group, we are one word, and many ladies can help and can work together. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. So we say engagement, empowerment. Yeah.
Fantastic. We've heard so many inspiring voices. I'm curious, as we sit in this room, we're in a very inaugural moment. Would a community like this be interested to the people who gathered here? Either online community or offline community events to gather more. Is this something that you feel would be helpful? Yes. Yes.
Or do you have some specific expectation on community?
I love accessible communities that can travel distance, space, and time. So this would be really great to gather new ideas and also learn spiritual learnings. Being an entrepreneur, I feel is also a spiritual practice and how to maintain sanity and good moods even regardless of what you're going through. So also building connections important.
Yeah.
Super important. You can't do it by yourself. So that's a lesson I learned.
Yeah, connection. Connection and the community support. Maybe some of the hard skill support or some of the soft skill support.
Yes, I appreciate support amongst community of strong girls, women. Yes.
Okay.
Fantastic. I want to underline exactly being an entrepreneur and living into your vision takes spirit and it takes courage. It's not just an act of the mind. And I loved what you said about women together and teaching each other, and thank you for that. Fantastic. Anybody would like to say anything else about what it would be like to be in community around this topic in New York? Excellent. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you very much. So I think what? Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Well, I have a question. I don't know if it's too late for a question. Well, I was just wondering, I feel as a woman, mental health is a very big thing. And the weight of it can be very heavy. And I feel for me personally, my mental health or just my feelings and emotions have gotten in the way of my success multiple times. And I guess I'm wondering, how do you navigate your emotions when they're really heavy and they're really hard? Like how do you navigate that and not let it get in the way of your business?
Okay, that's a fantastic question. I think in the past, when I was in the entrepreneurial journey, I found myself is unconsciously turn my negative mood to positive mood. So just the one thing, we can choose from different angle to look at it. But the result is you feel negative or you feel positive. So for example, when I was in Microsoft, I have to prove myself again and again and again, but I still cannot get that promotion opportunity. But compared with my male counterpart, it's much easier for them to get that promotion. So that's pretty common in the workplace. So I don't say I only have positive feeling, okay, but I just can quickly turn around. I don't want to stay with that negative, okay. So and then I quickly take action, okay. So at least one thing I can learn from the new manager. Let's do it. So, but right now I think around that time it's unconscious. But right now I would like to put it more consciously way, because I know the positive mood means the energy. Do you want to damage your energy or not? So if you wanted to hold the energy, okay, we need to find a way to put it into more positive thinking or mood. Is that okay to get the energy, right? And the I don't know if you once read a book that called The Secret, right? The Secret. The Secret.
The secret.
Yeah, the secret means the positive attractive positive.
Attraction.
Yeah. So I believe it. I believe it. I also prove that. So even further, I think if you have that intention, okay, and the future is here. Let's move forward. But at least right now, let's find a way to turn the negative into positive, to maintain our energy and attract more beautiful things around us. Thank you.
Can I say something about that?
Yeah, we have to. You want me to hold this for you?
You can just leave it right there. It's okay. I just wanted to, I don't know if you can hear me. I wanted to add on to that. I'm by no means a millionaire, successful, like multi-business startup entrepreneur by any of that mistake, but I am a full-time entrepreneur. And there was a moment in time where I was working for a company. Layoffs happened, and I had 2 weeks to make a decision. Do I go find a job, or do I finally start a business? And I'm sure, mental health wise, you can imagine that wasn't the most fun place to be in mentally. It was very stressful. But I'm resonating with what Diane is saying, is because in that moment I had a choice. Do I sit here and have a pity party and go, woe is me, what am I supposed to do with my life, and stay in the negative? Or do I use that negative energy and turn it into a positive energy, a positive channel? And what I decided to do in that 2 weeks was Google how to start business. I got my LLC, and I was able to use the actions that I took to help build my mental health and confidence along the way. It's not a I wake up and I'm better type of thing. It's an ongoing journey, right? That's why I love this metaphor, inner mountain and peaks and journey and climb, because we didn't say it was a cruise. We didn't say it was like autopilot, like joyride. We said it's a climb, right? And when you climb, you doubt yourself. When you climb, you struggle. When you climb, you wonder why you even started the climb to begin with. Why don't I just stay home and like chill on the sofa? Like, why am I climbing on this metaphorical mountain of entrepreneurship? And for me, the most beautiful growth has happened in my mental health and my confidence when I chose to listen to my heart and when I chose to keep that momentum going. Climb in spite of people telling you can't do it. Climb in spite of the imposter syndrome. Climb in spite of the fact that you have two nickels to rub against each other and the boss that said they're not going to give you your final paycheck. And along the way, when I reached a certain peak of being able to say, wow, I climbed this far. How did I do that? It was because of things like women who reached out their hand to me and offered me advice, or moments where I was vulnerable with my family and I was able to have a dialogue of saying, I'm going on this journey, I'm going on this climb right now. I don't know if I'm going to make it to the top, but I hope you'll encourage me along the way. And what I see is this beautiful ecosystem that we're creating here that when I started my business 3 years ago would have been so helpful for me. So, I just want to make it clear, mental health is a very difficult thing we all struggle with, no matter who you are and where you're at in your journey. But if you can find the desire to try in spite of that and find the people who can help you along the way to encourage you and be your adventure buddies, as I like to call them, on your climb, you'll be able to achieve so much. And now I'm so grateful to be here and at least helping on the podcast side of things. I hope you will, maybe you don't have an adventure buddy that you know of, but virtually you can hear some of the stories of the women who have overcome certain things on the Climb podcast too. So thank you so much for being here and being vulnerable and sharing that, because it's not easy to say, I'm struggling, I need help. And I just want to know we see you, we hear you, and we're here to be your adventure buddies. So thank you.
Thank you.
Fantastic. So I think thank you for joining for the session today. So I think like this moment, right? Like we can all sensing together now. It's the power of the community, and the power of community comes from everyone who joins, shares, lifts others up, and that's what we want to do at In the Mountain as a community. No matter it's in the States, in China, or other place. We welcome you to follow us. No matter it's joining us on Circle or follow us on YouTube. Like we have said, we have a podcast. You can search us on podcasts. Spotify, Amazon, everywhere. Above all, if you purchase Diane's book, it's a great opportunity to have her to sign your book. It's also Diane's honor to sign your book as a token as a gratitude for supporting us. Thank you again, everyone. And all proceeds of all the royalty will be donated to the Inner Mountain Foundation directly to support our program development. Yeah, that's what we want to point it out. Thank you very much.
Thank you.